Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Zinzino Balance Test Explained. My name is Natalie Simpson, and this recording is for you if you are interested in understanding your balance test. Maybe you've had a test and you want to understand your results, or you're curious to see if this is something that might be right for you. Let me just go ahead and share my screen here for a moment. Here we go. All right. Right, as you know, my name is Natalie Simpson. I have been working in this space of holistic health and medicine for, oh gosh, about 7 years. I've had my business operating and running. I'm based in Hamilton, New Zealand. I do operate globally with different things. And yes, I absolutely love natural health and well-being. I've come from a nursing background, and so I do love the numbers and knowing that things are working and on track and what they need to be for you. So that little bit of my nursing brain is definitely still front and center with lots of things in my life. I partnered with Zinzino over a year ago. Zinzino has been around for over 20 years. It celebrated 20 years in 2025. I brought it into my business knowing that it was a great product and that it had some amazing benefits that I really wanted to see for my clients as well. So your balance test provides a snapshot of the fats that make up your cells. Your body is made up of around 37 trillion cells. Could you imagine that number of cells? And every one of those cells is surrounded by a membrane, and that membrane is built from the fats that you eat. The quality and the balance of those fats influence how well your cells can communicate, how they can absorb nutrients, how they can remove waste, how they can heal and recover and function every single day. Because healthy cells are the foundation of a healthy body, the balance test gives you valuable insight into how well those cells are operating and working to equip and support your overall health and well-being. We're not looking for good or bad numbers here. We are looking for balance, and we're looking for an overall picture to identify where there might be room for improvement and different things that we can do to optimize and support your body in this space. So the balance test, let me just get one here. Grab my tools, should have had these earlier. So the balance test is quite a simple little device. It's got your little finger prick tests. It's a dried spot test as opposed to a wet blood test. A wet blood test that you can get done from your path labs, that's usually measuring the plasma, which is still very, very valuable information. It's using the plasma of your cells, and it's looking at the here and now information of what your blood might have to tell. These, however, are looking at the dried spot blood test, which is looking at the red blood cell and the information and story that that cell has to tell. It is a double-blinded test. It gets sent away to Norway, where they do testing with an independent laboratory. It's double-blinded, which means that if you were King Charles, they do not care. You're not going to get any special treatment. They don't know if this is your first test or your 100th test. They have no idea. Everyone still gets the same detailed report. It's of your omegas and your fatty acids. The recommended time to do your second test is approximately 120 days, sorry. This test is looking at a retrospective view of your previous 120 days of what those cells are doing. So to get your test results, there's a few different ways. And so if you were coming into my clinic, we'd be sitting in the seats just there behind me, and we'd be having a chat going through your results. This might be in clinic at one of your appointments. Or if you're here on this call, you'd be watching ahead, and we're going to unpack it all here as well. So you would have had your test. You would have got a photo of a little card that looks like this. That card has a unique identifying code specific to your blood test. So you're going to open up zinzinotest.com, and then your web browser will look like this. Over here, you can enter that code. You'll also see that up in this branch up in here, there's usually a spot for it. There's two places that you can add that code. Once you've put in your code there, you'll get something that looks similar like this, and you can print it out, or you can have a look at it digitally on your phone or on your whatever device you're on. I do recommend printing it out because you can also jot down some little notes, which we're going to go ahead and do shortly. All right, so let's crack in. We're going to be having a chat about this, and I'm going to be using it as if I'm talking about a house, as if we've got fuels that feed a fire, we've got firefighters to put out a fire, inspectors who can prevent sparks, and a crew to repair and rebuild when able and when needed. If that fire was inflammation and your house was the body, that's kind of the gist of what we're going to be going with here, just to help you understand it. First of all, we've got your omega 6:3 ratio. This is the first marker that comes up on your test. It's looking at, you can think of this as your body's balance between inflammation and recovery. The lower number of 3 to 1 or less indicates that your body is in really good balance. Your body's happy with that, it can cope with that, it knows how to work with that. As that number gets to a higher number, you'll be able to feel different things like your body, your joints, your body will feel stiffer, more tired, things like that. This omega 6:3 ratio is significantly important for things like your cardiovascular health, your brain and your mental health, your joints and your pain, your immune system regulation, your blood sugar, metabolism and control, hormones and fertility, and longevity and recovery. You can think of this as how many little, fires or fuel to a fire do you have to every one fire extinguisher? These are my personal blood test results that we're sharing today. And this is looking from a snapshot of what you might see if you were looking at this on your laptop. If you were looking at this on your phone or the printed version, it does look slightly different. So just bear that in mind. This is what it would look like on your computer though. I've taken a screenshot of exactly how it looks. And the numbers that we're talking about today are my personal blood test results on my very first one. So you can see here, I was 17-1. Basically, I've got 17 little fires or fuel to every one fire extinguisher. So my body was not very happy at that state. Next, we've got the fatty acid score, also known as the protection value. And I like to simplify this a little bit further. It's like your body's smoke alarm. If you had a fire and your body said, hey, we've got a fire. And then this is the communication that goes, did somebody say fire or did somebody say that we're having a barbecue next week? It's the part that you really want this to be working really well. And as you can see here, mine was coming in at 0%, which means my body was more going, did someone say something? We really want this number to be above 90%. That would indicate that your body has a great early warning system, that if you did have inflammation, your body's going to be able to cope and respond and work really well with that. All right, what have we got next? The omega-3 index. I like to know this one as the firefighters. This is who is ready and prepped to know exactly what to do if you had an inflammation. If you had an inflammation situation, who's there ready to go to get this sorted? Your omega-3 index is really significant for your cardiovascular health, your concussion repair, eyesight, and eye health, brain health. There's quite a few different areas that this is really, really essential for. If ever I saw somebody with a 2% or less, that would indicate to me that there is quite a significant cardiovascular concern, and there might be some changes that you might need to implement sooner rather than later. Your body is comfortable with 8% or greater. Cognitive fatty acid index, also known as mental strength, and this I would call the noise. So remember back when we said about the protection value being like the body's internal smoke alarm, this one here is the noise that's in between where the fire is and where the part of your brain that says, did someone say something? This is the noise in between. This, you would feel feelings and symptoms if it was out of balance of things like focus would not be the greatest. Your mental clarity would be struggling. Brain fog would be heavy. Concentration and mood would be a bit all over the show. And so when your cognitive fatty acid index or your mental strength is sharp and improved, you'd be seeing a number of about 1-1 or less. The higher number in this indication means that there is more problems and issues that your body's dealing with the noise. We really want that communication pathway to be smooth and direct. And so having this lower number in this index is really important. The fatty acid fluidity ratio, also known as the cell membrane fluidity. Now, going back to something I said earlier about having 37 trillion cells in your body. Now, I don't know if you could imagine 37 trillion cells, but we just have to look at a human and there is that many cells or thereabouts on the average person in that body. And that is just truly incredible. Knowing that that membrane is built from the foods that you eat, we really want that to be as best as possible. Your body is happy and comfortable with a 4:1 ratio. You can see here on mine was coming in at 8.6, which is not in the red, but it's at the high end of the orange or yellow, whichever color you're seeing there. And this is something that when the cell fluidity ratio is high, that cell membrane is quite hard and rigid, which doesn't allow amazing exchange of nutrients and detoxing processing. So if that cell was soft and spongy, which it would be if it was less than 4, then that exchange can happen really beautifully. Nutrients can go into the cell, toxins and debris can go out of the cell, and there is that beautiful exchange. If that cell is rigid and hard, we get a problem that your body's just not detoxing or absorbing as best as what it could. Now, if you're trying to conceive a baby, if you're trying to get your digestion under control, there's a whole bunch of other things. This number here is so important that your body gets it under control. We really want your body to be able to detoxify and have that absorption and nutrient in versus toxins out ratio working beautifully. Now, the omega-6 index, the arachidonic acid, is a pro-inflammatory marker. This is using and looking at kind of like a Goldilocks spot. You don't want to be too hot, you don't want to be too cold, you want to be somewhere beautifully in the middle. And so when it's working well, things like your tissue and joint repair is working great, your skin repair is working well, you can get that what's known as a healing crisis. And it's a really good thing. If you stubbed your toe, you'd want your body to fix and repair it. If you had surgery and you didn't want to be, stuck in bed for 6 months, you'd want your body to get into that repair process really nicely. And this is where this comes in. It's pro-inflammatory. And so sometimes we get swelling and inflammation, and it's positive versus negative. If you had an injury or something that was taking a really long time to heal, that's where this becomes not the greatest thing. We want this to be in that in-between spot, sweetly in the middle. If it's too high or too low, that's where we see a long, slow repair and recovery. This number is impacted by your sugars, your diet, any processed foods, stress, and lifestyle factors. They will play a big role. We're going to jump around a little bit on these ones because they're in a little bit of a different order. We're going to jump into the omega-3 camp. And if you take a look at the EPA number, I'm not even going to attempt to say that long word. I'll work on it, but not right now. This number here, the EPA, is kind of like your body's first responder. If you had an inflammation situation, this is the one that goes, I'm onto it. I'm going to tackle whatever that problem might be. You can see here that in the deviation column, mine was minus 74.8% out of balance, which means if I had an inflammation situation, this guy is probably on holiday somewhere under a coconut tree, sipping on a pina colada. Not the greatest thing if you needed something to come on and, have that first responder. You don't want them to be on holiday. You want them to be there, ready, on the go. They know what they're doing. Now, if that number is quite deficient, like my one is, this is where your body goes, it's all right, we're going to call in the other guys. The other guys, they're going to come and help us. And so they call in the big team if the fire's too big. They call in the big team if something else just needs a little bit more attention to detail. Then we go into the omega-6 category, the DGLA. And again, I'm not going to pronounce that word there, but the DGLA marker, come across to the deviation column. That one there, if it's overworking, like it is in my case, mine was overworking by 62%. This means that my second line defense is working overtime. It's doing all the alarms. It's responding to every single crisis. It's constantly trying to check to see if there's new fires, little fires, big fires, and everything else in between. When this number is overboard like this, we know that that is causing an internal stress on your body, and it's going to be pulling on resources, things like zinc, magnesium, B vitamins, and a whole bunch of other stuff to really pull on those resources to help your body out the best that it can. Basically, it's doing a job that it's overqualified for. It's struggling, it needs to go back in balance. These deviation columns, we really want that number. If you could get a perfect number, it would be a 0. 0% means that you're not overworking or underworking, you're just somewhere happily in the middle. Jumping back to the omega-3 camp, going down to the DHA component, this one here helps in a lot of different ways, but it's kind of like the rebuilding. It's the part that goes, we've got a joint that needs fixing, we've got, I don't know, some endometriosis lining that needs to be repaired, whatever the case may be. This is the one that goes, I'm going to get to the problem, I'm going to fix it, here's what I need, and here's what I don't need, here's what I need to get rid of. It kind of is like organizing. It's like the, I don't know, the chief, the foreman on the job. It's organizing a whole bunch of stuff. This number is significantly impacted by the mental strength, the noise, because it's trying to get communication and answers going, hey, what do we need? When do we need it? Do we need it right now, or can I do it next week? Yeah, so we really want that noise to be nicely lowered so that these guys can all operate in the way that they should be able to work in environments. It's kind of like giving them the tools to do what they need to do. Once you've had your balance test done, they'll give you a couple of suggestions. So if you've been looking at your results online, you'll see that there is some suggestions of things that you can do, and these are some key takeaway ones. First of all, take your balance oil. So your balance oil that you've got in your kit, there's a couple of different types. Take the balance oil, that's the one that you've signed up for. Taking it daily. If your dose is too much, consider lowering your dose to ease into it. Some people might find that they get a little bit nauseated or something like that, and it's usually because your body's not used to such a high quality omega and polyphenol balancing product. Your body will get used to it. And so if you are struggling with it, lower your dose if you need to and work your way up to your ideal dose. The dosage is dependent on your weight with the instructions on the bottle as well. One of their other key suggestions is to move your body. Movement, even gentle movement, daily and physical activity that can just help your body in so many different ways. And these are things, we all know these things. And for some people, there might need to be a change in your diet to adjust what your body's having, to support your body in some different ways that maybe your body needs and has been craving. In your Zinzino full report, there is some good suggestions in there as well. Once you've had your 3 to 6 months on your balance oil and you're ready to do your second test, that's when we plug that in. We just get your results done. You get the same card as what you've got there on your first one. And on your reports online on zinzinotest.com, you scroll down to the bottom and it gives you a place that you can stick in your second blood test code. And that will fill up a report that looks kind of like this, where you get to see your comparisons of your before and afters. In my next video, I'll go through these in detail as well, but just know that that option is there and it's ready and waiting for you once you've had your second blood test. 120 days is the ideal optimized area. And the reason for that is because 120 days is what your cellular life cycle is doing. Every 120 days, your cells are replenishing and rejuvenating and moving on to a brand new cell. Right, so these are some frequently asked questions that I get asked often. So one of them, my results are really out of balance. Should I panic? My suggestion is going to be no, don't panic. First of all, do not panic. Your body is so intelligent and it knows what it needs to do. And if you've been taking the balance oil, and at this point, most people have been taking the balance oil for about a month, because that's roughly how long it takes to get those results in. If you've been taking the balance oil for a month, already those numbers that you're seeing on your report, they will have adjusted. So whatever you do, do not panic. Sometimes there will be some suggestions of do we need to add in a multi-mineral or some other essential things like magnesium or iron and things like that. So we can go from there. Do I have a suggestion of a multi-mineral that I could add? I have a few suggestions on those. Now, mostly I will check in with you in clinic and I'll muscle test them on you to see which one is the one that your body needs to support your body as best as what we can. Can I change flavors or add it to or change to a capsule? And the answer is yes. In your Zinzino back office, you can change your flavors. You can move things around. There is a capsule option for anyone who doesn't like the liquid option. The capsule option is there. Excuse me, the price point is just a little bit higher. And so some people are happy to do that and others are happy to take the liquid version. So you can change and adjust things around. And can I get my friends and family on this too? The answer is absolutely. You can either add them to your existing order if there's somebody who lives at the same address as you, or we can just add them in as a new account if they're needing it sent to a different address. And can my child take this? Again, absolutely. This is fantastic for children. Children's brains are always growing and developing. And so we want to really maximize that growth and development. And so this is fantastic for a growing brain. And I really want to get pregnant. Is this safe for me and my future baby? Absolutely. I see women with fertility, and this is one of the first things that we get you on is getting that foundational product to get your cells in a really top-notch situation. This product is absolutely safe for you and your baby. And if anything, I strongly encourage it. It helps with your development of your baby's brain and body through that really crucial developmental time of when they are in utero. It's really exciting to see babies once they've been born, and I call them an omega baby. They're usually very chubby and plump and just absolutely delicious. Their eyes and their clarity of what their baby is doing and reaching their milestones is just absolutely incredible. Now, I do also get some people say it's expensive. My option for that is, do you want to get it for free? Most people would go, yes. So some people do find that this is an expensive product. Some people find that it's nothing at all. And so it just depends on what's important to you, how your body is responding to different things, and what kind of value do you put on your health and well-being? And the other option to that is, can I get it for free? Absolutely. In a moment, I'm going to share how you could potentially get this for free. Lastly, I get often asked from time to time, I'm a practitioner, can I stock this in my clinic as well? And the answer is definitely yes. If that's something that you're interested in, reach out to me because I'd love to have a conversation with you about how we can get this into your clinic as well. All right, so briefly going through the customer rewards program. So most people start here, they sign up with their purchase kit, they've done their blood test, they've paid and they've ordered, and they've got their first lots of product. Zinzino has a sustainable shipping model where you pay every month, but every second month you get your physical order. So for example, month 1, you pay, but you don't receive anything yet. In the second month, you pay, but you get 2 bottles that you've paid for. Third month, same thing again. In that order there, you do get your second blood test, and that's where we would look at doing your repeat blood test somewhere between the 4th, 5th, and 6th month, kind of depending on what that first blood test result, depending on what that first blood test result is, we could have a look at it, doing it around there. And so on. Once you get to your 7th month, Zinzino offers you a 10% off your order in exchange as Zeno Cash. Now, Zeno Cash is something that they offer to everyone right from your very first purchase. Every dollar that you spend in shipping gets saved up, banked as Zeno Cash. And that Zeno Cash adds up, and you can use that to buy additional products. You could try something new like their amazing collagen, their gut powders, or something else to assist your body in its growth and development. You could buy extra blood tests. You could buy extra product to give away or just store for when you need it another time. You cannot pull that cash out as money to go and buy your groceries, but you can use it online to purchase something from the Zinzino back office. Now, getting your products for free. Now, some people utilize this, and it's just amazing to see people getting this option done. So let's just say, here's you for your example. you've got a couple of maybe work friends, maybe some family, different people that are seeing different results in you, and they're going, hey, what is it that you're doing? You're doing something and I like it. Or maybe you've talked about it. Here's just a really simple example. Let's say here's you. You've got your people and they each wanted to do exactly the same thing that you're doing. You would need 4 friends to sign up underneath your particular account. There is a particular code, which if you're having trouble finding that, let me know and I'll just let you know what your code is. It is in your back office if you were changing your products around or adding or taking away anything. There is the code in there, but if you can't find it, do let me know. All they need to do is purchase using that link, and that automatically assigns them as somebody that you have referred. And then you just need 4 friends referrals, and then you get your product for completely free. All you're paying is your shipping, which you still get returned to you as Xeno cash. So basically, with some girl math in there, you're paying nothing. You could have this made up of 4 different friends. You could also have this made up of one friend who wanted to get 4 products for her entire family. So there's a few different options in there. Basically, there's you and 4 products attached to your referral code. So again, that could be 4 individual people. It could be one individual person with 4 products, or a combination of those. If you've got any other questions that you would like to know, do please reach out. I love a good curly question, especially one that makes me really think. Or if I even need to ask someone else, I'm very happy to do that. I really want to get your answers completed, because if you're asking it or thinking it, chances are somebody else is as well. And if I don't know the answer, then I want to know the answer. So do let me know. My contact details there, natalie@neurorestore.co.nz. Or you can scan this QR code if you're wanting to go straight to the shop to purchase anything. Yeah, any questions, do reach out to me. Have a wonderful day, everybody. It's been lovely to see you here again. And until next time, I'll see you again.